Hello, everybody. Welcome into Backseat Drivers. I'm Alex Weaver here with my all-female co-pilot table. Here we have Kim Coon and Jessie Punch, who, if we were betting girls, we would probably bet on a double digit to win the next race coming up in Atlanta because we've had the 11, the 22, the 88, and the 22. 22 gets it done. He's 2 for 4. Is he a class all of his own now on the field? Because I feel like that it is Joey Logano's week to lose every single week.
Okay, I have to go back on something I said last week because last week I said, Kim posed a similar question about Alex Bowman, and I said, it's way too early in the season to have a class of the field. I'm not going to put my stamp of approval. All right, Joey, the 22 team, they are making me eat my words. 2 for 4, and they've completed all but 9 laps this season, and it was in the 500. So take that into account. Yeah. They are rolling over there. I'm eating my words. Yeah, I would have to say they're the class of the field.
I'm going to say he's up there. I don't know about class of the field because of the mistakes they made. So you look at, they did win at Phoenix, but they had an uncontrolled tire. They had to come through the field. That, does show you the strength they have. Yep. And then the second thing wasn't exactly their fault. They had a jack malfunction. But I just would like to minimize the mistakes, and we've seen some mistakes from them, to call them like the class of the field. So
do you think that Logano is just better than everybody else, or just everybody else is making mistakes even more so than Logano is? Because he's still winning. So to make those mistakes, is everybody just having really crappy days, or is he just really that good?
I think a lot of drivers have had a lot of bad luck. You look at Martin Truex Jr., you look at Ryan Blaney, you look at Denny Hamlin this past weekend. A lot of terrible luck. So I think if the luck can get turned around for some of those drivers, and then other drivers can clean up their mistakes, we might not be talking about Joey Logano being the best of the field.
Okay, so takeaways from Phoenix, because we have to look at it being kind of a key look into what the championship is going to look like in November, but then also from the West Coast. Daytona's kind of just throw a dart at it, but the West Coast is when teams tend to figure out what their car's running like, what the rest of the season may hold, what they need to work on. So what are our big takeaways from the West Coast as a whole and from Phoenix?
From the West Coast, for me, was the speed that Hendrick has had. And I know we've been talking about it week after week, but they have dialed it up. Mm-hmm. They are fast. Chase Elliott, if he hadn't had that vibration with the loose wheel, I think he maybe would have been the one we were celebrating in victory lane. Another thing that has stood out to me is Kevin Harvick, still the only driver to have a top 10 in every single race of the season. And yeah, we're talking West Coast. I'm throwing Daytona in there, but 3 of the 4 races were West Coast races. And then the other thing, the short track package was everything I hoped it would be.
So much more.
Obviously, the teams are going to learn a lot more. We have, 14 races till we get back to Phoenix. But I thought the traction compound worked well. The tire they brought was great. There was a lot of fall off. And you could do different strategies, which is what we saw. And you could also move through the field.
Yep.
Yeah, that short track package. It's like you said, we have 9 months, and I cannot wait until we get back there again. And there was something right when both drivers and fans were very pleased after the race with how things went, because it made for a great show.
Yeah, that never happens.
Fans, right? I know. Yeah. We did something right over here at NASCAR. But really, though, like you said, the amount of ability to pass and the amount of lead changes that we saw at a track like Phoenix, it really definitely played to the favor of upping the competition on the racetrack. So I'm excited to see what goes on in Martinsville. I know it's a different animal, but that's when we'll run that package again. So
I've been really not excited, but it is nice having a different manufacturer step up sometimes and it be different than what 2019 looked like. I've been really excited about the speed shown with the Chevys, just because you have Hendrick, all 4 finished in the top 15 yesterday. Bowman wins at Auto Club. You have Chase, who's basically been running in the top 5 every single race until bad luck has ensued, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah.
But it's just been so different than what 2019 looked like, because I feel like for months we were like, all right, where are the Chevys? All right, where are the Chevrolets? They're not doing anything.
All right, JJ's in victory lane again.
Exactly. And then even like Chip Ganassi Racing, both of their cars were in the top 10 yesterday. So it's just been a really good year so far. I don't know if we can credit that to the new body on the Chevrolets and they just like it better, but I really liked that we've had variety a little bit.
Yes, parity is good.
Yeah, we like it.
Yeah.
Speaking of parity, we have a couple new faces in the garage that are vying for that Sunoco Rookie of the Year title. And man, did they put on a show in Phoenix. We had Tyler Reddick, who thought it might have been his day. He unfortunately gets hooked into the wall. Tire goes down. But for a rookie, not a bad way to start. Cole Custer finished in the top 10. And then you had Christopher Bell, who was running in the top 5 for over 100 laps yesterday. I mean, go ahead, rookie class, because, wow.
Yeah, the rookies definitely impressed me, and I had two of them in my section, Christopher Bell and Cole Custer, and I was cheering for him. And then Tyler Reddick, man, oh man, if you're Austin Dillon, you should be scared because Tyler Reddick is showing what you can do out there with the equipment they have. And I wouldn't even put RCR at the top of the Chevrolet camp, but Tyler Reddick, what he's able to do in a race car is phenomenal. I think he got a little too eager there.
He did. He said afterwards he made a rookie mistake.
Yeah, he did. He did, to his credit, say it was a mistake he made. It had nothing to do with the car or how the car was driving or anything the team had done. I think he, again, was too eager, made a mistake, used up the tires. And I think if he hadn't done that, we would have seen a top 5 from Tyler Reddick. I'm so excited to see what he does. Well, what all the rookies do with the rest of the season, but Tyler especially. Talking to other drivers who have driven with him in the Xfinity Series, like they say he is the real deal.
Well, in this short track package too, I think they all said that it was a little similar to how the Xfinity Series package used to run. So I'm interested to see when we are back in this package what those three can do.
Well, and I'd have to believe we're gonna see a rookie in victory lane this season.
Who's the first one to get it?
See, and that's tough because I've been thinking about that. And if you look at the numbers, so Cole Custer has the best average finish so far. We're 4 races in. Okay, you know, let's be easy now. But he does have the best average finish, so consistency there. But Tyler Reddick is scrappy, just like you said. I mean, he's out there. He's willing to push the limit, and he's going to learn from his mistakes because he's recognizing that they're rookie mistakes. So I don't know. And John Hunter Nemechek, he's shown a great showing so far this season. So it's really a tough battle there, but I would think that we would probably see Reddick first in victory lane.
Do you agree?
I don't know. I want to say Reddick just because I think skill level, he's a little bit ahead of Christopher Bell, John Hunter Nemechek, and Cole Custer from what we saw this past weekend. Wow. But you never know. And Cole Custer, having the group that he has behind him over at SHR, you know, he talked thoroughly with Kevin before the race at Phoenix. I think that probably helped him a lot. I think we'll see that in Atlanta. We know how good Harvick is in Atlanta. So it's just like picking a race winner every weekend. Like, which rookie is going to win first? I have no idea.
I picked Cole Custer to win first on my debate on NASCAR.com. And I'm starting. So I really liked it at the beginning of the season. And I really still like it because I think, like you said, he has such a good team surrounding him, and he has shown a lot of speed in that. But Tyler Reddick is just like on a whole different playing field, I feel like. He doesn't, there were some parts yesterday, and yes, he made a mistake that made him look like a rookie, very much so. But there are some parts of him that I'm like, are you a rookie? Are you sure that you're a rookie? I mean, he was like vying with Kyle Busch there for a while.
Kyle.
When you asked Kyle Busch, I was like, oh, this is good.
Yeah.
This is good.
So,
well, and something we can't, though, like, underestimate when it comes to Christopher Bell is that he didn't have any cup starts prior to this season. So Tyler Reddick had a few under his belt, which isn't a lot, but just that little bit of experience, I have to wonder what Bell's going to start doing once he starts to get a handle on things.
It'll be interesting. They all have pretty good crew chiefs, pretty good, some of the best in the garage, so some of the best equipment. I'm interested to see what the rookies get into. Next up, we have Atlanta Motor Speedway. We in the past used to race there before the West Coast. It kind of gave us a little bit of an East Coast feel before we headed out west, but we did West Coast first, and now we're coming back to the East Coast at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Drivers love racing at Atlanta Motor Speedway because it's worn out. There's a lot of cracks in there. They haven't repaved it or done anything to Atlanta, so it's like an old school little bit of bump and grind that they can get on there. But we have to be excited about Atlanta because it's an opportunity for possibly somebody new to get in victory lane, but you can also look at the likes of Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick. So what can we expect from Atlanta?
I'm looking to what we saw at Auto Club because although they're totally different shaped tracks, a lot of the drivers liking kind of the surface and the type of racing and the type of character that the track has to what we saw at Auto Club. We saw Alex Bowman victory lane. We saw Hendrick
so put your money on a double digit.
So maybe put your money on double digits. I do think we'll see strong showings from Hendrick. And then you look at Jimmy Johnson. He's a 5-time winner in Atlanta. I know week after week I'm like, Jimmy, we want you in victory lane, Jimmy. Make it happen. But then again, Brad Keselowski has won 2 of the last 3 there. We saw how fast he was this past weekend. Brad, if it weren't for some bad luck and timing of cautions and that sort of thing, he would have been possibly one that would have made it to victory lane. And then Kevin Harvick is so good.
So good there.
He's so good in Atlanta. I do think they're ready for a win. To my point earlier, the only team with top 10s in all 4 races. It's going to be their day eventually. Is it Atlanta? I don't know, because I think it's going to be a little more level playing field than just like Harvick out there doing laps around everybody.
I like that, though. It's normally not.
Well, and I think when you talk about level playing field, Atlanta being one of those tracks that we only go to once a year, it is kind of a little bit of a wild card there where drivers don't have the most recent opportunity to really like touch up on their skills and look back at their notes. But you mentioned Keselowski. If I'm having to make a pick, it's Brad Keselowski. We've seen Ford in victory lane in Atlanta for the past 3 years, and Keselowski was 2 of them. And I talked earlier too about the crew chief swap, and I feel like they're all figuring things out. Now they're wanting to prove it. You know, we've seen Logano prove it. Now Keselowski and Bullins, they want to go out there and they want to show that, you know, they've been running well, and let's put it in victory lane to prove that. So I mean, that's, if I'm making a pick, mine's Keselowski.
There are 2 drivers that go into the media center at Atlanta Motor Speedway to get the food because it's the Quick Trip 500, Folds of Honor 500, and they have
apple fritters.
Oh, the apple fritters in there are so good. They have like the rolling hot dogs and corn dogs that are on the thing. And there are 2 drivers that go in there every single weekend that we race in Atlanta and get food, and it's Brad Keselowski and Kevin Harvick. So maybe the key drivers to making it to victory lane is to stop by the media center and get some Quick Trip food.
Get your apple fritter.
Yeah,
all right.
That place is great.
So like they have all the sodas in there. I gain at least 10 pounds every time we go to Atlanta. So.
I can't go to Atlanta anymore. I don't allow myself.
It's worth it. All right. Well, we are racing at Atlanta Motor Speedway Sunday coming up at 2 p.m. on Fox. Ladies, thank you for joining me, and we'll see you guys right back here next week.